Well, good evening, everybody. Alan Slaughter-Zinski with the Brevard Sports Network. Thanks for joining me this evening. And if you haven't been paying attention, oh, by the way, coming up tomorrow over at Polk State College in Lakeland, two, not one, but two Brevard County volleyball teams are playing in the Final Four. And I tell you, what a great season of volleyball it's been, especially from these two programs. And I'm blessed tonight to speak with both coaches. The first coach up this evening comes from the what I like to call the storied program of Brevard County. That's the Merritt Island Mustangs. If you look at Merritt Island, this will be their 10th trip to the Final Four as a program, the 8th for our first coach up tonight. Please help me welcome here head coach for the Merritt Island Mustangs volleyball program, Angie Patrick. Coach, first of all, thank you for joining us here tonight. I know you got a busy day coming up tomorrow. Take me kind of through how the girls are, what's their mindset heading into tomorrow afternoon.
We're ready to play.
Yeah.
Long seasons, we get into the grind and, practices day in and day out. Games are far in between, and they're just, we're all ready to go. Just put it on the court, play the game, and hopefully 2 games, but they're amped.
Coach, I asked you this question back in 2018. I asked you a couple of years ago when you went to the finals. When did you know, or when did you feel like this team could reach this destination?
You kind of know, like, you build up for certain years. I mean, there's never been really down years, but there are years that you're like, this team can do it, and so I think we've felt like that for quite some time, maybe even a couple years, just seeing it unfold. And we also had a couple new additions to the team, so for sure at preseason we're like, we're going to get to state, and it's been a pretty special team.
I want to take you back to the regional final against Wesley Chapel, and I know what it meant to your girls to get that win, and I know what it meant to you to get that win. Coach, I don't know that I've ever seen you that animated during a match, the jumping up and down. I think I literally saw you swing your arm at one point there. You were pretty pumped up for that. That was a nice win. You really wanted that one, didn't you?
Yeah, those are some of my favorite games, those region finals, because it's always a tough game. And there's always a lot on the line, and you're playing for a great opportunity, and especially on our home court. I just wanted it for them so bad, and we all really wanted it, so it's exciting. I'm glad we pulled it off.
Yeah, me too. It was great to be there, to be able to broadcast it. Now, let me ask you this: you have coached volleyball in this county for a long time. You're not only involved with this program, you've been involved with club for many, many years. And Coach, to see 2 Brevard County teams go to the Final Four, I think it's fantastic. You know how I feel at times about the FHSAA, but I think they got this right with you at 1 and VIERA at 4. But what does it mean to go over 2 Brevard County teams in the Final Four? I mean, there's only 7 classifications.
Well, we're at 4, VIERA's at 1.
4 at 1. All right, reverse. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What does it mean? What
does it mean to have 2 of you over there?
Yeah. Gosh, that's really awesome. It's never happened as far as I know. And we're all just, our programs really respect each other and love Sarah and her coaching staff. So we're just super excited for each other. And we were hoping at the beginning of the season we'd be in Winter Haven together. So we did it, and I'm very happy for them, and congratulations to them. And it'll be exciting to be there on the same day.
It's never happened in the never happened in the modern 5-set 25-point era. Back in the 80s, Astronaut and O'Galley went to the Final Four separately as well, but they only played to 15 then, and they played 2 out of 3 at the time. It's the only other time it's ever happened. 1983, I believe it was. Coach, the thing that has really impressed me this year, and you would think that coaching as long as you have, that there would be one certain way each year that you go into a season and this is the system, this is the program, this is what we run. But seemingly, Coach, every year It's you adapting to the players on your floor, not asking them to adapt to a program that's won you multiple state championships and multiple Final Fours. And I feel like you've done it again this year with a group of girls, that you have sort of kind of groomed along here. Take me through that process on how you make that decision on what your coaching style is going to be.
Yeah, well, there's a difference, I think, between coaching style and then your system. The system doesn't change a whole lot, but you got to look at your personnel and see what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And I believe in doing a few things great instead of a lot of things good. So we try to, simplify things and not do tactically what we don't do. We're not good at technically, but we have so many strengths. We just each year is a little bit different, and you got to harness those strengths. So it can't be ever. I don't think any coach would say it's the same every single year. It's my way or that. This is what we do every single year, because you want to constantly be learning and growing, but you do have to know who your team is as individuals and then how they work together as a team.
Oh no, I think that's great because we do have coaches, in all sports that just say this is the system I run. Either you adapt to me or hit the road. I mean, it's crazy because, like you just said, I think you have to adapt to your talent. Let's talk about some of your talent this year. Maddie Johnson, a senior, a captain on your team. I just love when Maddie. I wouldn't say gets mad, but to watch Maddie turn it up another notch out there and go to the net and do some of the things that she does at the net is a lot of fun to watch. It's almost like it's almost like she's a linebacker at that net, intimidating. And I believe she does intimidate those girls on the other side of that net at times. Talk a little bit about Maddie Johnson.
She's not intimidating when you first look at all, but once she starts playing, oh my gosh, she's a big kid and a small body. She's just so strong and so athletic and smart. And she has a fire in her. Like, she just wants to win, and she wants her team to want to win and work hard. And, she does whatever it takes to make our team better. I know we were talking about her being outside this year. And then Cam came in, and Maddie's just like, and even in clubs, she gets put in the middle, the poor thing, but she's just so good at it. Even blocking. I mean, she's killing it in blocking. So,
Yeah.
and that's a mindset right there, just to want to just block instead of just be a hitter. So, yeah, I love her. She works so hard. And, I didn't know if she'd be a 6 rotation player, but she is actually passing great, back row attack. And, when she's off the court, we do miss her leadership. So I'm really proud of her.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you kind of have the opposite side of the equation in Bella Schwantz, the junior, who statistically has had a fantastic season. And she's kind of quiet, reserved out there. But, man, when she gets up on that ball, it's a different story. Talk a little bit about Bella.
Yeah, she's a real solid all around player. She's a great passer. She can even set a ball. Every team she's been on, she's been called to do different things because she's just so all around, such a solid player. But yeah, we need her to terminate. I told her today, I said, we got to have you out there just balling out. We need that determination. We need her to be intense and excited. And I don't want any of them being fake, but they all have to like step up another level and take the team on their shoulders when they need to, but just go out and compete. So she is calm in storms. We'd like to see her like just have a great time these next couple of days and celebrate and all of them and just put it all together. But yeah, she's a very consistent player for us offensively and also in the back row.
You had a couple of players come into the program this year, Shemaya Richardson, and I keep calling Shemaya a senior, but she's a junior, and I keep forgetting that. And Cam Childers, who is a senior. Coach, they have seemed to really blend it in well with this team and your program.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, they're both great girls, great kids. They came in and knew their role and were humble and, just they did a great job gelling with the team. My girls were awesome accepting them. And, it didn't take very much time for them to become one family. And they both have been great additions on the court and off the court.
I don't know if there are any more Martins that are going to be coming through, but I think you've pretty much coached them all. Talk a little bit about Elena Martin, and what's wild about the Martins is they're really all kind of different in their style of play, in who they are. I love interviewing Elena Martin because she'll tell you just like it is, and I like that. Talk a little bit about her, and I know you've had her kind of doing some different things here down the stretch.
Yeah, another great athlete, super strong, well-rounded. I mean, she's not many teams, VIERA has one, but a big lefty on the right side attacking. So she's definitely been clutch for us. Good block, but she is also a very good setter, and we've had to call upon her from time to time, and could possibly in the next couple days. So she's just got a lot in her tool belt as far as her skill set, but she definitely has grown a lot this year in the game, and has become a big go-to hitter for us.
And another player that will return to the program next year. Coach, I know you like to coach your setters early and young, and you certainly have one this year. And boy, was she fantastic in that regional final, and that's Annabelle Jones. How much do you as a coach have to say, okay, I have a sophomore setter who's good. I have to let it go and trust the sophomore. How do you do that?
Well, I don't think it's all about just her being a sophomore. And we've had young setters before. I think it's important that the upperclassmen, step up and help her through those times that she needs it. But setters innately, and this is one of the things you look at, is that they can handle that pressure and they can lead. She might be young, but she's not inexperienced. I coached her a couple years ago in club, and she's very level-headed. She's not the fiery kind of setter like a Shea Henson.
Right, right.
She's very level-headed, which is good to have that calm. But you say I like to train young setters. Well, it goes in like 3 years. I don't know. My favorite year is probably when they're a senior, and it's more like autopilot. But yeah, she's got a bright future ahead of her. Same thing with Jules and Elena. This is the first year I've had 5 setters in the program.
Wow.
The other 2, so with Davy and varsity, I've got some good options.
Well, yeah, for sure, and then it forces them to become versatile as well, especially if they want to see the floor here with Angie Patrick. And Coach, the other thing that I've really liked that you've done this year, and we talked about this on the first interview of the season, and that was the fact that you were going to carry a full roster and you were going to use them all. And you did. And I look at your bench, and I hate to call it a bench in volleyball. I look at your rotation with great seniors like Heather Ives, and watching Riley Loggins come in that regional final and do what she did. Talk about those 2 seniors and what they've meant coming into the rotation at the times that you've asked them to do it.
Yeah, there's something said about having a senior on the floor, in clutch times. I think that's really important. And, Riley's just kind of a laid back, I got it, yeah, you need me, okay, great, I'll go play ball. She's just kind of a loose, kind of girl like that. But she definitely, wants to win, and there's always that smile on her face, so she brings that kind of, she just, if you know Riley, you know Riley.
Right.
Fishing and playing volleyball. So
there you go.
Yeah, she's a great kid, and she has come through some really strong serving and passing. She reads the ball defense. So yeah, she's a great season. Heather's another great player. Good senior leadership. She is also a difference maker when she's on the court as far as her leadership goes. And Heather's one of the ones that we say, how did she just do that? Well, really smart. Like, she just put the ball where nobody was.
Yeah.
Not this huge, high reaching kind of player, but she's so smart, and she definitely brings value to on the court and also in practices.
Coach, you've been to a number of these. As I said at the onset, you're 8th coming up, and obviously the last time you were there, do you say to yourself, or as you're when you realize you look at, we're going back, Are there things you take from the previous trips over that you do differently with each team, or does it just really depend on the team as opposed? Because I know the girls got to have nerves. I don't know, I don't know why they got to go over there to play the Final Four. I mean, it's just my opinion. I know the finals I get, but they should play the Final Four. At the top seeded school. But my thing is, Coach, do you do anything differently each time, or is there something that you do that's similar to all of your trips to this point?
Um, well, I kind of disagree in the fact about the Final Four. I love that they're doing Final Four all together.
Oh, do you?
I love it. Yeah. And I'm glad they brought it back. I just don't think any team should have a home court advantage in a state semi. I think that it also, four teams are getting an experience of going to state and having that
True.
like college. It's a Final Four. So
Yeah.
I did it and they brought it back. I've asked for that for several years. Maybe not everybody feels the same, but I think as a coaching community, it's just good for the girls. It's good for the schools. And I told them today, I remember being in their shoes, a senior in high school, going to state, winning state, and just how great that experience was. But, getting the medal is fun, but it's the ride over, just the whole week that's buzz at the school and everybody getting excited. So you got to kind of, today I told them we got to, as excited as we are, keep that excitement and keep that burning, but we got to come in on fire and ready to compete and ready to kick some butt. So I think that most of them have been on a big stage and they'll help the other ones that haven't. And I think that just the way we've played together and the way the girls know each other and love each other and embrace each other, I think this is going to be a battle that, they're all going to stay together. I'm not really worried about nerves. I think they're, in it, if they are, they are. It's just something we're going to have to work through. I think that was what happened Wesley Chapel the first set. Because, you can talk to them about it, but I
Right.
think more nervous. So,
Yeah.
just
That's true.
out there and trust in yourselves, trust the process, play volleyball like you've played every game. It's another game. It's just kind of cool that, there's a title there possibly. So yeah, I'm excited for them. I don't feel any like nervousness. I'm just think we're done. We're ready to stop practicing and just go play.
What has your experience in these big matches taught you? What's the one takeaway that you've had from every trip you've gone over for?
um, I don't know, you enjoy, like, try to just slow down and enjoy it.
Right.
It's kind of cliche, but you can get so wrapped up in everything and just that game, but enjoy the whole process. Like starting now, like this week at school, and don't take it for granted. Those four teams are there because they're very good four teams. I told them that I feel like if we put those four teams in a cup, no matter who we drew, it's going to be a good game. All four teams are very strong. There's no easy way. So I think that, just enjoy it, enjoy every moment. And at the end of the day, look what you've done. And who knows, you got to go out and battle. It can be anybody's game. I know we're ranked 4, they're ranked 1, but I don't, I told them I don't even care about that number. It's
No.
something to go out and get. We can do it.
No, and that's a great segue to the final segment here, wrapping up with head coach Angie Patrick of the Merritt Island Mustangs. Coach, your schedule prepares you. I mean, you look at the teams that you faced during the regular season: the Bishop Moores, the Jensen Beaches, the Rivera Preps, VIERAs of the world. You've played them all. What can you tell us about Middleburg, and what should we expect from them?
So, they're kind of opposite of Wesley Chapel. They're really strong on the outside. We had to focus on the middles of Wesley Chapel, but they have 2 pin hitters. One's a lefty, and they're just both phenomenal 6 rotation players. They've got a very good setter that gets them the ball very efficiently. So, we're going to have to contain those 2 hitters. And we've got some ideas for us, things that are tactically going to help us out. And, we've got a good idea of their defense, but we know they probably got stuff on us too. So, but yeah, they got two big players. It's unfortunate that we lost the inches game already with the height, but we're just going to play big in our hearts, and we're going to jump high and move fast, and hopefully that'll get us through.
Coach is talking about Connor Ron and Forkham. They two have combined for 726 kills
Yeah.
this season. That's a lot of kills, folks. If you don't know much about
Yeah.
volleyball, it's an awful lot of kills, to be honest with you. Coach, I would hope and pray that even with it being a 4 o'clock game, that you're going to have your student section because they're one of the best in the state. And is the students able to go over for this?
Yeah, we're at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. I keep saying 4. 1 o'clock.
That's okay. Yeah, they're coming. We are definitely going to have a big support group, so we're excited about that. And I'm glad our administration is supporting that. I know it's just a semifinal, but I think both are very important. And we're going to our family of fans and our student fans and teachers, administration. So we're excited.
Well, we're coming over for the state championship on Thursday because we know that's where you're going to be, Coach. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of what I know is just a hectic day before. And, Coach, thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us here before you make the big trip over to Polk State College.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for everything this season. We've appreciated you a lot.
Absolutely, Coach. Thank you so much. And that'll wrap it up with Coach Angie Patrick. Coming up next, it'll be Sarah Wayne from the VIERA Hawks. Good evening, everybody. Alan Slaughter-Zinski with the Brevard Sports Network. And earlier tonight, or about 20 minutes ago, you saw the first of 2 interviews we did on the night with our Final Four volleyball coaches. We spoke with Angie Patrick earlier, and we conclude our Final Four coaches interviews tonight with the head volleyball coach for the VIERA Hawks. And what a spectacular couple of years this program has had this season. 26-4, another district championship, another Cape Coast Conference championship, another regional championship. Far be it for me to tell you how they did it. Please help me welcome in head coach Sarah Wayne. And Coach, thank you very much for taking time out of what I know is a busy night before here. And so tomorrow you're going to play Childs at 4 o'clock, and we'll talk about them coming up. But Coach, first of all, congratulations on a great season. And I'm so mad because I can't split myself in two and be at both. But that unbelievable win over Oviedo in the regional championship, I want to talk to you about that.
Sure.
Kind of take me through that a little bit. The highs, the lows, the emotions that you experienced in that, because I'm sure there were so many things going through your mind.
Yeah. And I still don't, can't comprehend most of what happened that night. 'Cause like you said, there was the highs, there was the lows. I mean, it was just the full gamut of everything. We started off slow, and just didn't play our game at all. We let them dictate a lot of the pace and a lot of what they wanted to do. And then we turned it around and then forgot again, as trying to maintain that high level when you get into the postseason is really, really tough. So, we let the third go, and then we were down in the fourth, and the message was just, be us, be VIERA, be ourselves. Know that we're an amazing, good team. Try not to focus on the score. Try not to focus on anything other than, we know we can get 1 point at a time. So, and then, what can you say? I'm just proud of the fight that these girls have.
What experience did they reach deep down and gather, from that painstaking moment last year? You were facing that very same thing again here, Coach.
Yeah.
And talk about that, because that's drawing from experience.
Absolutely. And that's what, we have 7 seniors on the team, and you can't come out on top in moments like that without that kind of senior leadership and without those experiences at all. And I even said that in the huddle. I said, they've never been here before. We have. And, not only last year in the state finals, but, we were down, 19-24 against Holy Trinity this year. We were down match point against Bishop Kenny at the tournament we went to. We were down, a couple of times this year where, we were down against Bishop Moore in set 5. They had set points or match points. So we had been there before. So I was it was comforting to know that I could turn and look and say, and without like just I wasn't fake. I really said, hey, we know what this moment is like, and Mallory went back there to serve, and just somehow, some way, she always ends up in that spot, and so I knew that she knew what to do.
That's great here with Sarah and Wayne. Coach, you mentioned the tournament, and I want to ask you about that because how important was that night tournament of champions at Wiregrass Ranch to your season?
Well, I think it was a bunch of different things. It was really kind of the first time that that we got to play with Izzy and have her integrate into the team. So then that was a huge step for us. It was also it's kind of there's a lot of teams there all across the state of Florida, from 7A down to a really really tough 3A. And everyone just kind of looks over and who's who and what's everybody got this year because it's so early in the year. So I just think it was so great for us to kind of make that statement at the beginning of the year across the state.
Coach, I want to talk about your roster because I think the thing that's so unique about your roster, when you're looking at a really, really, really good volleyball team, a lot of times you have one or two players that sit atop the statistical categories. Mm-hmm. And yes, Izzy Stark sits at the top on a lot of them. But when you look at the leaders, like, you have different players leading different statistical categories. Izzy in kills, Sophia in aces, digs are different, serve, receive. It's all different. The diversity, the talent on your roster. But I do want to start with Izzy because I know what she's meant, and anybody that's seen her play knows what she's meant to the program. But I want to take it from a different perspective. I want to ask you what she's meant to, to the team. How has that been?
I mean, it's wonderful. You can't ask for anything better than, at VIERA High School, we always say, you're a good teammate first.
Right.
And, there's more to it than the kills and the aces for us in our program. And you have to, without a doubt, be a good teammate, be a good person, all of those intangible things that we look for. And she is absolutely that person, that competitive spirit. She drives us in practice. She's the one, constantly, wanting to get better. Hey, let's try this play one more time. Let's do this. And she's fit right in, and the chemistry is so good. And a lot of coaches can just say that, but I really, really mean it. It would have been very easy for it to be, just a tough situation for her not to mesh, and it was completely the opposite of that. It's just been so great.
It's funny because from the first time I interviewed her, I could tell she was team first. And I want to ask you about your coaching staff because, Coach Sinceri, Coach Murray, Andrews. What has Coach Doug Stark meant to the staff?
So much knowledge. And, we tease him too because he's such a great balance of emotions for us. He's so steady, so calm. Izzy will get up there and she'll hit this monstrous kill and we're all jumping there and going crazy, and he nods and gives the thumbs up and but he's so just so great, so much knowledge to give to the girls. They absolutely respect everything they have to say. He's been around the sport for so long, and it's good too to have that wonderful balance to come in.
I want to ask you about some of your players individually, Coach. I want to ask you about Sophia Jones. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed, and I've watched Sophia play from her smallest of club days, 6-7 years ago, and watched her game develop over the years. I can't believe she's a senior. But I think the biggest thing that I've noticed about Sophia this year is her confidence, and it's translated. I've never seen Sophia with this high level of confidence before. What do you attribute that to? And talk a little bit about her.
We were so grateful and that Sophia came to VIERA, and she's that spark for the team as well. Not only just with her offense, but she's silly and goofy and fun in practice, and she definitely is just a great person to be around, and her teammates just absolutely love her. I think part of her confidence this year also comes in that she is a 6 rotation player for us this year. And so when when you come in and you have a specific role and you play 3 rotations like she did last year, but then when you ask her, hey, I need you to, she doesn't, she's not coming off the court when she plays all the way around. And so a lot of times that, the defense and the passing will then kind of get yourself into a groove, and she's able to, when you're out there, she's able to provide that for us. And I think that kind of, that lifts her confidence as well.
Yeah, 63 aces. She's done a great job from the line there. I want to ask you, and we're gonna get to Mallory Murs here in a minute, but I want to ask you about. I just don't know what else to say about Amelia Talbot and the way she's come over the last couple of years. Talk a little bit about Amelia.
Amelia has, she, a few games into the season last year, she, got that libero jersey, and she's just really kind of taken that role on. She's one who is, constantly working every single day to get better at what she needs to get better on in practice. Asking questions: am I in the right spot? How do I do this? How can I, how can I fix this? And she's kind of one of those players that wants it for her team. She wants to be the best defensive player she can, so that we as a team can do what we need to do. And she's by nature a beach player, and she some of the skills we tease her don't translate a whole lot. We told her she's not allowed to set the ball, but she's just she working on her serving, and just every single day she just gets better and better. And when she has those moments, she's the first person to look at me and say, I got you, coach. Like, I got it. I'll fix it. I'm on it.
Let me ask you about Mallory, because when Izzy came in, and I think those that know volleyball, I think what we did was we kind of, without saying anything, just kind of kept our eye on how that was going to work out, and it seems to really have worked out well. And Mallory is happy, and she is Mallory, and she does all of the things that she's always done. It's just been a great season for her again. Talk a little bit about how this transition for her has been this year, and that Mallory moving forward. And you don't have any more Murs as the coach.
I know. So ultimately, when you have a player like Mallory, and you have a captain like Mallory, and you have someone who understands sports, and and family's been around sports for as long, they know that when you play a team sport, it's about the team. And this is this was a way for us to be competitive at the highest level. And it's she's, like you said, she's smiling, loving it. She's improved her game and defense and serving, and as when you take on a role that's different from what you're used to, you can either get on board, or you can go the other way. And she absolutely says, all right, coach, let's get on board, and we'll go from there. So, and she's absolutely done so wonderful for us this year.
No, I think she's been fantastic. And I think the reason that you and Coach Patrick are heading over to Polk State College is because you both use your entire rosters. And I love the fact that when I look down at the Max Prep page and I look at the blocking category, I'm looking at Tori Berry, whom many would know as a softball player, but she leads the team in blocks with 29, and Casey Morgan, and everybody that you use as part of the rotation. And I don't like to call it a bench in volleyball ever, because it's a rotation, and you rotate players in and out. But talk about the depth of this team, Coach, and how important it's been for you to get back to this point.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we have such high level of competition in practice. And, that's one of the reasons, why we're back, is because, every day, we take it to that next level, and every girl just knows so much about their role of what they're going to do. And, I have 7 seniors, and they are so so talented in everything that they do. I mean, Casey, again, like Sophia, had to come around and play 6 rotations as well, and she is one of our most steady, servicey passers this year. She, I know you tease and call her Clutch Casey, but she is. We would not be where we're at, without that steady pace from her. And you've already mentioned Sophia and Mallory and Izzy and Amelia, and I just also want to say that Hope Svartstrom and Brianna Salinas are absolutely vital to this program as well. Those seniors, just what they provide for us, what Adriana provides for our team. And, if you see her, she, jumping as high as she can, when we get the kill, and she's just such an inspiration for all of us. And she works so hard. And, I can't say enough about Hope either. She's, in my opinion, probably the 3rd best setter in Brevard County. And, it's just, doesn't get to show on the court, but I'll tell you what, that kid is an absolutely amazing kid. And it comes from, maybe not so much we see it, in your broadcast, but what we see behind the scenes from them and from everybody else is just amazing.
Final person I want to ask you about is somebody that's coming back to the program next year, the big left-hander, Haley Beek. I love watching Haley hit because she's always closest to the side of the broadcast, so we get a good look at it. But I think it's great for Haley to have gone through this experience because the expectations aren't going to drop for this program. You've reached it, and I know you want to maintain it. What have you told Haley up to this point and moving forward?
No, Haley's had a great year. She is, absolutely. She's working on just her swings and different shots, and we can always count on her. I mean, she refuses to let that ball hit the floor when she's got to come off and play offside defense. And she didn't play as much back row this year just because of the lineup that we ran. But she's doing amazing, and I can't say enough just to have one more piece of that offense. I mean, we just come at you every single rotation. We have someone that we're confident that can take care of the ball, and Haley's a huge part of that and gives the defense on the other side a different look at because she's left-handed. And I'm very, very happy of the season that Haley's having this year, and helping her out in her recruiting process and to play at the next level. So it's just going to be really fun to have her back as well.
Coach, 2 years ago, you reached the Final Four. You got beat last year. You reached the state championship. We know what happened. I mean, this seems like a natural progression, right? I mean, so my question...
Do the math, I think so.
right. So it seems like a natural progression. But what have you taken from your previous 2 trips to this point that you'll do different or won't do different?
I think there is something to be said for, we've been here before kind of mentality. It's showed in our, Oviedo match and some of our, last region matches, we've in going to the tournaments and playing high level competition. We're not going to be, I think 2 years ago when we went up to Ponte Vedra, we were just like wide eyed and oh my gosh. And then, and last year it was such a whirlwind, even though we had played New Smyrna and then there was like a hurricane delay and it was just kind of, a little odd in that sense. And all of these girls have had that taste, and even Izzy being new, she won states when she was a freshman. So I just think that we are of the other teams that none of them of the 4 teams in 6A, none of them were there last year. So I think that it's nothing but good stuff for us.
I know Izzy wants to, listen, I know Izzy is very close with her sister, but I also know she wants to win one without her. She won one with her. I know how competitive that can be.
She wants to win one as a Hawk, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Childs, I don't know. I didn't even know there was a Childs. So what can you tell me about them, and what should we expect to see from them?
I think it's going to be the better of the semifinals. I think Childs is, they've also played a really, really tough schedule, and they're very similar to us in the schedule that they've played and the competition that they've played all year long to get them ready. I know that they have some, just statistically looking at them, they've got some big blockers, and they've got some big hitters. So we've been working on that at practice, and just trying to figure out how we can match up best with them. But absolutely, they're top 10 and team, and I think that it's definitely something that we're going to have to absolutely play the way that I know that we can play in order to come out on top.
It's really quite unique from a statistical standpoint. You see it on your screen there. They both played 30 matches. Childs with 1,136 team kills. VIERA with 1,126. How about this? VIERA with 248 aces. Childs 242. So you're looking at teams that similarly attack and very successful at it, Coach. And I know that this may sound like a dumb question, but it does have deep meaning. For you, you've been the only coach this program has known. Mm-hmm. And they're obviously going through ups and downs, and obviously at the greatest peak of this program at the moment, and you're continuing to rise. What would it mean to you to go get this state championship?
It means a lot. I don't want to. I'm not going to use the word everything because,
right.
But it just, really just kind of this sounds cheesy, but I want it for them. Like I want it for them. I want it for the school. I want it for, just the history of it, and yes, I've been there for 18 years, and I've been the only one there, but I think because of that, because I've only been there, it's kind of more of like, it's not me, it's kind of like the entity, it's like the program of VIERA, I think.
No, I get it, yeah.
So, our coaching staff and everybody that's just invested so much, I think it's more of like a we mentality from it, and and I don't want to come home to my twin girls without that trophy. Because
no, I know you don't, Coach. And so we'll have, obviously, above these interviews or previews of both matches taking place, and it's going to be fantastic. You can watch them on the NFHS network, I believe, and again, that's in the post. I'll double check that. But 4 o'clock for the Hawks, 1 o'clock for the Mustangs. Coach, good luck. I mean, we'll be there. We'll be there Thursday. Can't come Wednesday, but we'll be there Thursday to watch you and Merritt Island win a state championship. Congratulations on a magnificent season, and we'll see you Thursday, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Yep. All right, that'll wrap it up here tonight. We want to thank Coach Sarah Wayne, and nothing else left to say, but go Mustangs, go Hawks. We'll see you, you volleyball fans, we'll see you Thursday from Polk State College with the pregame show. Have a great night, everybody.